Aside from its seemingly endless inherent pressures, being heir to the Grayson throne definitely has its privileges.
Welcome home, Daniel.
Hi, Mom.
Not the least of which being epic summers in the Hamptons. Just as I felt the record begin to skip, there she was, as if hand-delivered by fate.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
I'm Daniel.
Emily.
I'd never met anyone like Emily Thorne. She was magnetic. I gotta admit, it's nice meeting someone who never knew the old me.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Emily was exactly what I needed. A beautiful, independent woman who didn't care about my last name or my past. I hope my mother wasn't too hard on me the other day.
I don't scare too easily. Does she interrogate all of your dates?
Yeah. But she certainly wasn't without her own surprises.
What's that?
Well, aren't you full of surprises?
Arigato gozaimasu. O aidekite koe desu.
I learn something new about you every day. I fell hard in a matter of weeks. I couldn't help it. Emily was perfect. Not everyone in my life shared the sentiment.
The only thing we know for sure is that you're a bad judge of women.
My mother never approved of any of the girls I've dated, and Emily Thorne was no exception.
Victoria, it's Frank. I found an anomaly in Emily Thorne's public record.
I want you to start following her.
My best friend seemed to be constantly butting heads with her.
Why would anybody want to hide their money in the Bahamas?
No matter the obstacle, Tyler Buddy put the gun down.
Shut up, Danny!
The connection I had found with Emily only seemed to strengthen. She was the one. I was sure of it.
Emily Thorne. Will you marry me?
Yes.
And just when everything seemed perfect, the perfect storm was closing in. Why do you want to marry me, Emily?
Because I love you.
Then come away with me.
Where is this coming from? Did your mother say something?
She's not worth it.
Tyler had gone from friend to foe. He was unstable, playing on my fears about Emily, threatening my family. I couldn't help myself. Instinct took over.
Daniel Grayson, you're under arrest for the murder of Tyler Barrow.
Daniel's fingerprints were found on Emily's gun. In a political climate like this, the DA goes first-degree murder.
My mother devoted all of herself to saving me, and with my father's combined efforts, they succeeded. But even though my name was cleared of the charges, the norm was far from restored.
Did you also know that your mother paid someone to arrange that beating?
Lee Moran.
Your boy get the message?
I asked for an assault, not a rampage.
My father confessed. Another man's life was wagered for my freedom. Lee Moran was far from an innocent victim, but did that excuse my father's extreme recourse? Did the end justify the means? I needed answers.
Promise one thing. That when they finally come to get me, that you will do whatever you can to rebuild the company and take care of your little sister. Promise. Would you close the doors?
The truth I learned that night rocked me to the core. The secrets, the deception, the lengths that he went to protect the Grayson name.
Bill Harmon took the stand with searing testimony against his longtime friend and colleague, David Clark.
I was faced with a choice. Follow through with my original plan to wipe the slate clean, the righteous path of my mother, or continue burying the family's secrets and join my father's struggle to retain our position on top. My father is the victim of a witch hunt. My father, who I stand behind as a son and beside as a partner in business, as I prepare for my role at Grayson Global. As much as I wanted to distance myself from the Grayson name, after everything that had happened, I couldn't deny my birthright. It had saved my life. I owed my heritage, my allegiance. That allegiance turned son against mother.
I don't know what lies he told you. But you would do well to remember that there are 3 sides to every story.
Which one did you sell to the feds? You go through with destroying Dad, and you're dead to me.
This is the evidence I was planning on turning over.
Mom buckled. She gave me the evidence.
It's right here in my briefcase.
Good work, son.
I had finally found my footing on stable ground, when suddenly it was ripped out from beneath me. Ash, if there's something I should know, you gotta tell me.
Like, it's not just about him, it's also about Emily, so you really need to be asking her.
Did you kiss him?
I'm sorry.
Bye, Emily. My worst fear had come true. I lost Emily. Had my decision to embrace the Grayson name spoiled the one pure part of my life? Had siding with my father inadvertently forced me to suffer a similar loveless fate? Good to know you've got my back.
Always have. Cheers.
Or perhaps was a new beginning, standing right in front of me. Cheers.
I'd spent countless hours here, drawn to the solace and warmth that only a father's presence can provide. But this visit was different. So much had happened. Some I had planned on, even more that I couldn't. It has been warned that upon embarking on a path of revenge, one must dig 2 graves. After the past year, I can say with absolute certainty that is a gross underestimation. The decision to come back to the beach house was not an easy one. Every touch unlocked a memory. But these ghosts from my past only fanned the fire of revenge within, a constant reminder of my purpose. I set up camp at the mouth of the lion's den, and I was ready.
I'll take it.
And with that, I began to take down the conspirators that betrayed my father and helped the Graysons push him into the crosshairs.
After a financially fatal move in the market today, Harmon Investments founder Bill Harmon was swarmed by a mob of angry investors outside his office this evening.
He's ruined.
I came here tonight to announce that I will not be seeking re-election this fall.
How can I explain to my husband that I slept with his sister?
Oh, I am going to ruin you.
No!
Bad girl.
For Victoria and Conrad Grayson, the true authors of the atrocity, I vowed their destruction would be slow, painful, and irreversible.
Emily's renting my house for the summer. We met briefly on the beach.
And then yesterday at the South Fork Inn. I hope your husband's feeling better.
You could have had anyone, and you knew she was my closest friend.
I've just become the official new owner of the beach house.
That's great news.
And I won't lie, I did revel in it.
Thank you so much for tea, Mrs. Grayson. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed this.
The rest of my plan hinged on my courtship to Daniel, the heir to the ill-gotten Grayson throne.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
I'm Daniel.
Emily.
A big thank you also
To chance meetings.
He'd provide full access to the evidence I needed to restore my father's good name. I'd done my research and prepared my play for the privileged party boy.
I'm weighed down by my father's expectations, my mother's disapproving eye, but mostly by the world's perception of what it means to be a Grayson. I don't want to be limited by all that for the rest of my life.
What I wasn't prepared for was Daniel himself. He was considerate and kind. A far cry from his parents, playing the part of his girlfriend was simultaneously easier and more difficult than I anticipated.
I'm falling in love with you too.
And even though my heart began to soften for Daniel, I still felt an undeniable draw to my first love.
Sorry, he's not normally this friendly. He's kind of an old grump, actually.
I feel like this feeling comes along once or twice in a lifetime if we're lucky. Tell me I'm alone in this and I won't bother you again.
As much as my heart wanted to say yes to Jack, my journey made that impossible. I had to keep my distance, not only for my sake, but for his. But an unforeseen friend from my past became an uncontrollable foe in my present, stirring up Jack's heart and my own.
Emily, this is Amanda, a very close old friend of mine.
As my relationship with Daniel progressed, his unfaltering love was disarming. Deciphering the truth of my own feelings became more and more difficult.
Emily Thorne, will you marry me?
Yes. When his life was threatened, the dread I felt was genuine. In this moment, I knew that my feelings for Daniel Grayson were true.
My father is the victim of a witch hunt. My father, who I stand behind as a son and beside as a partner in business, as I prepare for my role at Grayson Global.
I let my heart distract me and suffered the consequences. The time had come to act. I accumulated enough evidence to do severe damage to the Grayson name, and I was ready to pull the trigger.
You have to deliver Grayson's box of evidence to the feds. Everything you need is in the bottom drawer of your desk, including instructions on how to get it to Agent McCowan. Got it? Then get going.
And after a year of silencing my heart, with exposure of the truth so imminent, true love took over.
Did you kiss him?
I'm sorry.
Bye, Emily.
But even the tightest knots find a way to unravel.
Amanda, I've missed you so much.
I couldn't catch my breath. Choosing revenge over true love was one I could never take back. I was on the precipice of success, ready to close this dark chapter and begin the life I was owed.
Here's to your dad.
To Dad.
When fate stepped in and snatched it from my grasp.
Twin-engine jet exploded shortly after takeoff. One of the witnesses on that flight was Victoria Grayson, but there appear to be no survivors. Tragedy, of course, is no stranger to the Grayson family.
All of Conrad's evidence, everything that could have exonerated my father was on that plane.
This goes so far past the Graysons and so far past what they did to your father. Your mother's alive.
In that instant, when everything I dedicated my life to was rapidly eroding around me, my world went quiet. And in the quiet, I found focus, a realization. I've only just begun. Let it play.